Here's a real question. I need y'all to drop this in the comments for me. When Drake, he had his songs and his raps going at Pusha. By the time Pusha dropped the story of Adidon and he exposed Drake for having a kid that he was hiding, and Drake even had to go on LeBron's barbershop show and explain himself, and through his own mouth, he said he got that. Like, if you tell the world I got a son, you won. Pusha T out here talking about he messed up his Adidas rollout, got him explaining. Crazy. Drake always said he had that red button to push. Some crazy song that Jay Prince stepped in on and said, nah, don't do that, because he was going to go to the type of level that you just no returning from, and you just don't want to be looked at as somebody that was willing to say those things. Question though, if Drake would have dropped that song, and if the Drake and Pusha T would have continued at that time when Drake was Drake, right? Who do you think would have won? Would Pusha have gone to the level, both chess-wise, song-wise, maneuvering-wise, angle-wise, that Kendrick did? Pusha is our top 50. Pusha is one of them guys. I don't know. It just came to mind now that he's speaking about all of this, because he is one of the people that I'm interested to hear his take and his perspective on the whole Kendrick and Drake stuff. There's even angles, obviously, that Kendrick used that come from Pusha, right? And he leaned all the way into this. You could just tell that Pusha couldn't wait to get ass. Like, oh yeah, I'm here for it. Let's check out this whole clip right here that's going around about Pusha getting asked about the Kendrick and Drake battle, as well as suing.
Do you agree with the people that Kendrick won the battle?
1,000%.
How did he do it? And then we'll get to your part. You talked about you, but I want to let you speak on it in general first.
I think that Kendrick is a lyricist, and a lyricist that talks to your soul. Like, you can be clever, you can say cute things, you can do things and cadences and so on and so forth, right? But the truth really hurts. And the truth like cuts deep. And I think what Kendrick was doing was really talking to his soul. I believe that. And I believe that's, that would cause you to tap out. That'll cause you to sue. That'll cause you.
Oh, that's pretty much all of it, right? I got the stinger out for this one. Got the little sting out. I got the little stinger for that. Shots fired. But what do we expect once again? I mean, Pusha T is Pusha T, and him and Drake's history is it's in the books, right? Made me just get curious and look across some other Pusha stuff. I just want to kind of refresh. Like, damn, like Drake, you could have gone through this with Pusha as well.
This is competitive for me, it's sport. I feel like Infrared was a response
it's a throwback
that I hadn't held on to in regards to Two Birds, One Stone. Mm-hmm. There was a record that people were assuming that he got it, myself and Cudi. Mm-hmm. And I felt like Infrared was just a great way to articulate, okay, you're questioning my street credibility. Mm-hmm. All right, well, I mean, we know you got ghostwriters. You have ghostwriters, and you 100%. We got
now, Chad, stop me if I'm wrong. Before Drake and Pusha got into it, Drake idolized Pusha T, right? Didn't he buy what is like a signed microphone or something like that off of eBay or Pusha? Let me pull it up real quick. Let me pull it up. Let me just make sure. Drake purchases Pusha T. Is it like a sign? Is it something signed that he had a Pusha T? Drake geeking out about buying a signed Pusha T mic. Yeah, he bought a Pusha T microphone. So Drake was a huge Pusha T fan. Huge. So I guess by the time Drake became Drake and they got into it, it is funny for Drake to be that much into Pusha as a character, as a rapper, as a persona in this culture. And we don't know Pusha pretty much from anything else as far as like what he represented musically, especially him and his brother when they first came in, like what is grinding and all that, right? It was drug talk, it was drug dealers. And by the time we get to Exodus, They say that's one of the most raw and grittiest videos of all time. They said those was allegedly. They said those was real fiends smoking up in the video. That is just not only the video, not only the visuals of that, but the song, the beat. That's some sinister. Who the hell produced that? Exodus. But anyway, when you look at the backstory of these two guys and the fact that fast forward that Kendrick used some of Pusha T's angles, it's like, yo, dude, Drake, you got to the point where you was questioning not Drake's, Pusha T's street credibility. When Pusha T exposed Drake, not just for his kids, but for that cover art. You know what? Let me go back to this for a second. Let me take this off the screen and let's go to that. And let's remind each other that Drake, you've been getting off. You've been getting some favor. Drake has a bunch of things that has happened during his career that the average person would have done got up out of here for. The ghostwriting stuff. It's a cardinal sin in hip hop. It's supposed to be you bite, you steal, you have somebody rap for you or write for you. Look how we treated Milli Vanilli. Now I know that was in the pop and the singing world, but in rap, it's over. It's happened in battle rap. I don't want to say no names, but there's been people that got caught taking whole rounds from other battle rappers, and technically they should never get booked again. Ever get booked? Some of them got booked again, but you should never get booked again. When you break that code, that is like one of the top hip hop codes. Okay, the whole lying on your son. Drake wants to explain that, it wasn't supposed to be an Adidas rollout, and I was held up because I was in the middle of getting a DNA test and all this type of stuff. Okay, sensitive around a child. I don't want to do too much there, but that was big. The reference track started coming out, pass after pass after pass. But this one right here, the blackface, we all gave Drake a pass, right? Because we all continue to support his music and continue to listen to him and continue to rock with Drake and sell out his shows and take his streams to #1 on Spotify and break all these records with him in order to bring him to Michael Jackson status, right? We all continue to support the blackface shit. You know how we always say shit just hits harder now. It just hits different now. Like if you go back and you listen to Euphoria, if you go back and you listen to this song or that song after Drake, it's like with Charlemagne's joking. He's not just joking. He's like really cutting at Drake, talking about, you know what? Drake is just showing us who he really is by invoking his white side, his white privilege, his Jewish side. All right. And I don't want to make this a racial thing. And Charlemagne is half joking, but he's half serious. He's saying that Karen side of you culturally is who you are. And when Pusha put this out as is this one of the most destructive cover arts that it was supposed to be ever? Because it's one thing to have a cover art where it's like, all right, you got somebody's head on a stick, like some cool. We're talking about actually, nah, the drill scene got worse. The Who I Smoke and all that, and dude that's in jail now. Yeah, they had all the with the smoking covers of all the deceased. That was that's out there. But I don't want to get into drill right now. Not only is this your cover art at the time, but this is the first time that the world's seen it. Blackface. You see the new clip from Charlemagne? He's saying, Kendrick, I don't think he should do the shows in Toronto because we see the levels that Drake will invoke from that cultural based privilege of how he acts. UMG is finding that out right now, right? This is not something that we were supposed to overlook. This is not something that we were supposed to just say, all right, sweep it under the rug. Look at this shit. Blackface, the story of Adidon. People, there's no excuses for certain things. Like you don't get to say, oh, it was a play, right? Let me get back up here on the bigger screen for a second, because when we have people like who was in Hollywood that had that classic example, it was Chappelle, right? It was Chappelle. They kept begging him to wear a dress, and he was just like, nah. And they kept coming back and add, well, how about this scene? Or how about He's like, nah, nah. And they got to a point where it's just like, yo, why do y'all so adamant about getting me in this fucking dress? Like, what's wrong with y'all? Why y'all always trying to get black actors in these dresses? Right? And the overtones of it is it's similar to me where it's just like the cultural differences are obvious. Like we would all be naive to ignore them. They exist. And Drake, there's just certain things you're supposed to say no to if you're of a certain culture. And when I'm talking about a certain culture, I'm talking about the hip hop culture. Hip hop is originated and stems from black culture. It's universal now. Any nationality can fully partake and embrace hip hop. We are global, but we know the origins of hip hop. So when it's time for you to do a show or a movie or a scene or a play, and anybody asks you to put on blackface, it's supposed to be a stern no, never. They ask you to do what Ving Rhames did in Pulp Fiction. It's a lot of actors that look at that behind the scenes. You know what they say? I would never. I look at that and I just be like, you're a different type of man to me. For a check, for a look, for a laugh. Every Halloween it happens. Why am I holding this? I got my stinger out. Every Halloween that happens, no? There's some pictures that go around the internet of somebody and some little kids in some class or some trick-or-treaters in blackface, and it gets under our skin every time. It's a needle every time. Every time we see a little kid blackface on Halloween, we just like, or show up to a party, little teenagers or kids in their 20s. They show up to a house party or something like that. White kids in blackface. How do we feel? Drake, you got a pass. He didn't just get a pass. He got big passes. That is extremely disrespectful to black culture. And you having ghostwriters and doing reference tracks and all that type of stuff. We've been talking about X recently, right? X got the interviews. We pulled that up of him saying, like, yo, you took my shit. And that's why this whole thing started. The guy's gotten huge passes. And Kendrick had to be the one. And that's what's so wild, man. It's like I feel similar to that even in some of my own stories. Now I understand, like in my space, I do have a big voice. But over the years, some of those back years, it just wasn't big enough. Because I told y'all certain things. I showed y'all certain things. I gave y'all proof to certain things. But pass after pass after pass. And that's just how it is. Sometimes it's human nature. And I'm guilty of it as well. When you're invested in somebody, when you really enjoy somebody's music, when you feel like it doesn't hit that close to home, the situation, it's a pass. It's swept under the rug. Kendrick he's amplifying everybody's voices now. This is why those documentaries, this is why Pusha T, this is why anybody now that speaks out about stuff from the past, it's amplified. And sometimes you just need somebody at that level or the timing, or they need to do it a certain way. And then it's lights out, game over. It's wild. It's wild. Quentin Miller. Yeah. Yeah. Let me come to the chat for a second. Yeah. See? What's up, huh? Samuel L. Jackson. So Samuel L. Jackson, some people will look at some of his characters and take issue. Oh, is that like a deeper topic? I don't want us to carve too deep, but what's his name? The producer of Hateful Eight and Pulp Fiction and Django and what's his name? Damn, I'm going blank. I'm getting old. Producer or director of Quentin Tarantino. I don't need to. There we go. It came to me. Quentin Tarantino. So Quentin Tarantino has a very, very his background based on the type of stuff that he does. Some of the characters that he scripts, the dialogue of his movies, it's right there on the line. It's like certain people are turned all the way off and other people are just intrigued. Now, for a white man to have all these characters, these racist based characters, and when you watch certain movies, and we understand it's a movie, but art imitates life. And I feel like one of the passes that Tarantino's gotten over the years is that his wife is black, all right? That might be one. And I think the other one is he's gotten some big time black actors to play these roles. Jamie Foxx, for example, and I have it up here on the screen, Samuel L. Jackson. So when you see Samuel L. Jackson playing the role of, like, let's say, a house nigga, right? And Django was a classic, but when you see him playing the role of a house nigga, he chose to accept that role. Now, I think Samuel L. Jackson, even though off camera he's taken a lot of very, very pro-black positions, I don't know. Y'all shoot me in the comments if Samuel L. Jackson has ever been on some of these promo runs or rollouts and he's ever talked about taking some of those roles and how he felt about some of those scripts. Was he just fully in actor mode and feeling like he was just bringing about eyes on situations that we need to see as America, just see it raw and uncut as America, right? Or as a country? Or was it that he just didn't give a fuck and he was on some more, like, Ving Rhames type shit? Like, what's the scene? Like, fuck it, I don't care. Cut the check. You know what I'm saying? Like, it runs real deep when you start talking about the entertainment industry. And that's why I'm also fascinated by the lawsuit. I think a lot of people are having a lot of fun with just the fact that, yo, Drake, this is hip hop. The second shit that went in, the second pre-action lawsuit was about defamation related to the Not Like Us lyrics. Defamation? Lyrics? How? Hip hop? Doesn't make sense. But the reason past all that, the fun that we're having about, like, look at Drake on his Karen shit, past that, the reason why it's so intriguing to me is the UMG level of the shit, right? I want to see just how much Drake is a creative player, and I want to see just how much he has really been protected or amplified, from his numbers to his image to his saving graces at the times where he should have possibly been more under fire, temporarily canceled, depending on where you stand with some of this stuff. So I just even the stuff with the girls, right? And look at now, we're talking more about that old case, right? The $500,000 allegedly that he paid to make it go away. Allegedly. We didn't want to talk about it that much back then, but look, everybody wants to talk it and bring it right to the front of the news cycle now. That's some of the most intriguing stuff to me. What's over Drake and how much that really played a role in him becoming the next fucking Michael Jackson, for lack of better words. This shit goes deep, man. This shit runs deep. Yeah, he better. He better, man. He better. Salute, homie. Salute. Basically, Kendrick's artistry and social commentary expose a lack of depth in Drake's music. Yeah, Tarantino. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, I was going blank for a second. Yeah, shout out to the whole chat. Hold on. I see my mods in the building too. Appreciate y'all. I think I missed something from some members up here as well. Hold on. Oh, my bad. I missed a bunch of the chat. All right. In any event, that's Pusha T's position. It's not a shock to me. And like I said, everybody's voices at this point is fully amplified. I did see Slim Thug's joint where he was like, yo, I'm in full support of Drake suing these labels. And I think that's almost kind of like what Flex was talking about. When Flex was like, payola, yeah, go after that. It's not more so a support of Drake and directly how he's going about this battle and post battle. It's more so about exposing things within the industry that can hinder up and coming artists, right? Or put politics over artistry. People that's supposed to be shooting higher up on the charts got all these politics and bullshit in their way. That's where I think Slim Thug is coming from, and that's definitely where Funk Flex was coming from. He was like, payola shit, not for me. Go ahead. I know some people that take that shit too. Let's expose them. He ain't on some, I got Drake's back shit. Nah, it ain't that. But yeah, the rabbit hole continues to spiral. So I wanted to hang out until later on tonight, but I saw this Pusha one and I was like, yeah, we got to get back on stream real quick. Just for anybody that hasn't seen that. We will get 3 in today. I will be up late night. Let's see how long this Winter Madness event runs. So we got Mook versus Arsenal tonight, y'all. And we will be right here live as soon as the last bar is said to talk about what happened, the winners, the losers, and of course the outcome of that grudge match. That is a big battle. And let's all support Calico. I'm about to go hop over to Rap Grid right now and cop my stream. All right, we'll be back in a second, y'all.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss, making decisions my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry Street Podcast. Welcome to the house up. And shout out to the members.